it's been a while since I've made a ranking so controversial. Well, as far as disagreeing with my opinions, that's par for the course. This channel is founded on ranking things in video games, particularly bosses. Sometimes it's me alone, and sometimes all of us are in on the ranking. Either way, disagreements are bound to happen, which creates a great opportunity for discussion. But the negativity surrounding my Devil May Cry rankings came to a head with my recent Devil May Cry 4 video, and it's not because of the bosses. Let me start off by saying that by negativity, I don't mean in a way that would belittle anyone else's feelings. If I want my own opinions to be valued, I'd be a hypocrite not to value yours as well. That means not only reading and taking to heart comments that are positive, but also taking an honest look at the criticism. Because if you believe one thing from me, believe that I care about making my videos the best they can be for you all to enjoy. Which is why I'm making this video. I've broken down the two main criticisms that I want to address from those videos. I'm not going to pull any punches in my response, but please listen to the end before you pass any judgment. Let's start with the first criticism. Problem number 1. Buster and combos that don't involve 3 consecutive triangles. Ever heard of them? Well, yeah, of course. It may not seem that way in the footage I chose, which is partially my fault when it came to the footage choice, but the other end of the fault lies with the way I chose to play the games. Sure, I use Buster on bosses, I just didn't think it was all that notable other than looking kinda snazzy. Based on the comments, this could not be further from the truth. When I said in the video that stunning the boss gives you a great chance to get damage in, that meant in any form you choose. That could be by using Buster, or it could be unleashing combos. The damage didn't seem significantly different to me, so I didn't think it mattered. The same could be said for the combos that I use. The damage is similar whether I limit myself to the most basic combos or try to piece together a masterpiece of melee. So why should I bother doing anything else? Before you say it, there's an obvious answer to that question, but before I continue, there's a few things I want to disclaim. Number 1, this was my first time playing any of the Devil May Cry games. I played all of them consecutively over the last month on the normal difficulty. Number 2, I've never been good at technical combos in games. If you were to ask me what my worst gaming genre is, it would probably be fighting. I am straight booty at remembering and executing numerous button inputs. And number 3, despite being terrible at it, I still love trying to go for high amounts of style in combat. I did my best to vary my combos in every situation possible with the exception of the bosses. So the question is, if I enjoy playing for styles outside of the bosses, why did I draw the line there? Well, it's not that I don't like the thought of playing them for style, it's that I'm learning the fight as I play it. When my focus is on analyzing and learning the moveset of the boss, it's natural that my playstyle will be rather basic because it isn't where my attention is. But let's not pretend that that isn't an excuse. The truth is, I actively chose to use the most basic combos. Why? The only advantage to doing anything different was score, and that didn't matter for progressing in the game. Sure, if I wanted to go back and do multiple playthroughs, I would be in a prime position to unload stylish moves for higher ranks now that I know their movesets. But that wasn't my intention. I simply didn't have time for multiple playthroughs of the game. My desire was to get through victorious, whether it was stylish or not, and then do enough research to ensure I understood the boss's complexities that I may have missed, then share that experience in the videos. And here's the thing, in my boss ranking videos, my commentary is going to center around the bosses, not really the player. The only time I refer to the player is to speak of offensive opportunities, dodging windows, and talk about the strategies I personally found effective for me. So while I do understand now from the comments that DMC is an interesting case where players are concerned about the variety of inputs over standard inputs, that wasn't where the focus was in my video or my playstyle during those fights. Because I wasn't ranking the top combos in DMC or the flashiest Buster moves on bosses, I was ranking the bosses mechanically and relating to my experiences with them in game. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea in a vacuum. I understood the bosses well enough as they operate on the normal difficulty, and my videos are a platform to share my experiences with you all, as you do in the comments in the community ranking. I'm perfectly within my right to play the game the way I want to, as is anybody. I don't need to play for style or score if it isn't my own goal. This whole theme of you need to play on X difficulty, not use items, get X score, and do it all blindfolded while doing backflips is textbook gatekeeping bullshit. You nor I get to tell anyone how to play the game. Hell, the director of the goddamn series himself said there's no harm in starting on the easiest difficulty with auto assist and max HP as soon as possible. Because the man understands that appealing to a wide audience is better than selling less copies to a few die-hard tryhards willing to circle trick each other's devil triggers into a pile of S-ranked medals. Which brings me to the second criticism. Problem number 2, to rank the bosses properly, you need more experience playing the games. You're right.
What the hell did you just say?
Look, I know I just went on one huge rant about how elitism in gaming, particularly single-player gaming, is a load of crap, and I stand by every word of it. But with that said, I pride myself on ranking bosses at a knowledgeable level, and outside of missing any mechanics that are exclusive to higher difficulties, I do feel that I rank the bosses themselves from a mostly informed mechanical perspective. The problem that the comments made me realize is that's where the ranking became shallow. I rank the bosses based almost solely on their mechanics and fun factor. Those are fine criteria for most games, but there are two perspective angles I completely absolutely lack that I think are needed to best rank the Devil May Cry bosses. Number 1, a deep understanding of the overall game mechanics. While I may understand how things work at a surface level, I miss nuances that may change the way I think about a boss. An example of this is being able to grab Credo's spears and then throw them back at him. I had absolutely no idea you could do that. That's an awesome piece of design and makes the buster feel more worthwhile. And that's just one example. Over the course of these videos, I do feel that I was able to give a nice surface level overview, but I missed a lot of the finer details. If I want to say that I can rank the bosses mechanically, I should at least understand the majority of the game's mechanics. Even if I'm fine taking a more basic approach, you as the viewer when watching my rankings are trying to connect with my experience as you reminisce on your own. I'm sure it's extremely frustrating to see me oblivious to things that were fundamental parts of how you enjoyed the game, and for that, I'm sorry for not delivering the full package. Which relates to the second missing perspective, one that cares for style and score. While it is possible to kill these bosses with a matter of triangles, completing them while achieving a high score through stylish combos is a completely different story. It's entirely possible that if I played on higher difficulties and required myself to get a minimum score, that I would feel differently about how a boss may rank. This boils down to delivering content at a steady pace. The reality is my time is limited and I have to do the best I can managing it between all my different content. With that said, I don't think that should excuse glazing over important details when I'm conducting these rankings. So let me say sincerely that I'm taking this criticism to heart. Going back to the first criticism, even if it is my right to play the game the way I want to, if I want to make a comprehensive ranking, then there is a standard of understanding game mechanics and playstyles that I missed the mark on here. I also think commenters who said I completely missed the point of DMC aren't entirely wrong. If I have a limited scope of how I want to play a game based around stylish combos and harsh difficulty, it's fair to say that I'm not experiencing the game's full potential if I make exceptions to use recovery items and ignore style. For that I am sorry, particularly to the DMC4 fans that I let down with the ranking. I'll take this feedback for the future and try to hold myself to a higher standard. I want to thank you for always supporting me in my videos and caring enough to be harsh when it's needed to make them better. After reading yesterday's comments, I decided that in my playthrough of Devil May Cry 5, I would never use recovery items and I would try my best to be as stylish as I could for a beginner. And I just want to say that I only use healing items in DMC 1 and then on the final bosses at DMC 2, 3, and 4. I didn't use healing items otherwise, so at least give me a little bit of credit. And also, like I said, from a beginner's perspective, so please try to go easy on me. I promise you I'm trying my best. With all this said and DMC 5 on the mind, I want to announce a community ranking for the difficulty of the Devil May Cry 5 bosses. Even with me taking a more traditional approach to the Devil May Cry formula, I always love giving you the opportunity to weigh in on your experiences, especially so we can get an idea of where the difficulty falls for the average player. I'll post the poll in both the description and in a community post on the channel. I encourage you to leave a comment on that community post if you'd like to have your thoughts on a boss be featured in the video. We do still have one more ranking of my own though, so I hope you're still looking forward to my ranking of the boss quality in Devil May Cry 5. Until then, thank you for watching today, much love to you, and I'll see you in the next video.